this bodhicitta prayer, this famous bodhicitta prayer called "Those Who Hate Me," Dadangma. Dadangma is was composed by Gyöpa Jikten Sumgön. So its nickname is Dadangma, meaning "those who hate me," because the first line it says that, I do this practice for those who hate me, in particular, those who cause obstacles on my path to liberation, in particular, and those who seek to harm me, in particular. I'm doing the practice for them. So this is a really important reminder, because especially in Vajrayana practice, in Vajrayana expressions, particularly those pertaining to like Dharmapala practice, and sometimes have language of like crushing the enemies, destroying the obstacle makers, all of that, and we might misunderstand, and when I say we misunderstand, I'm not saying like intellectually we misunderstand, because intellectually I think we all know, oh no, you don't do that. But it's when kleshas, afflictive emotions, are in charge, then you might, even though intellectually oh no, this is not the purpose of any of these practices, but then emotionally, you kind of hope, yes, clearly those people who cause trouble to me, and those situations involving these, especially if these imagined enemies are kind of a little abstract even, and then we think they should be destroyed, I should be victorious over them. And so it's very easy to misunderstand, and know that Vajrayana practices use a lot of expressive, poetic, and even secret coding of language. If it uses very strong language, that strong language functions to bring up firm resolve in ourselves against the kleshas. And the kleshas, the mental defilements, they are the enemy that we seek to destroy and to crush. So Dadangma, we start with Dadangma as a way to remind ourselves and to protect our practice from deteriorating into like kind of negative, witchcraft in a negative sense, seeking to harm and to control others through magical devices. Oh, Mother, sentient beings, limitless as the sky, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and all-knowingness, may they experience happiness and be separated from suffering. I will quickly establish them in the state of the most perfect and precious Bodhi. All Mother, sentient beings, limitless as the sky, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and all-knowingness, may they experience happiness and be separated from suffering. I will quickly establish them in the state of the most perfect and precious Bodhi. All Mother, sentient beings, limitless as the sky, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and all-knowingness. May they experience happiness and be separated from suffering. I will quickly establish them in the state of the most perfect and precious Bodhi. Thus, until I achieve Buddha, I engage in virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. Until death, I engage in virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I engage in virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. Then we go to the opening of the Four-Session Guruyoga, the refuge and the four immeasurables in the Four-Session Guruyoga text. All mother sentient beings, limitless as the sky, take refuge in you, precious Guru Buddha. We supplicate you, Dharma Lord Buddha, protector of wandering beings. We take refuge in you, Guru, clear like Dharma Kaya. We supplicate you, Dharma Lord Buddha, protector of wandering beings. We take refuge in you, Guru, perfect Sambhogakaya. We supplicate you, Dharma Lord Buddha, protector of wandering beings. We take refuge in you, Guru, compassionate Nirmanakaya. We supplicate you, Dharma Lord Buddha, protector of wandering beings. We take refuge in you, Guru, the actuality of the four kayas. We supplicate you, Dharma Lord Buddha, protector of wandering beings. All mother sentient beings, limitless as the sky, take refuge in you, precious Guru Buddha. We supplicate you, Dharma Lord Buddha, protector of wandering beings. We take refuge in you, Guru, clear like Dharma Kaya. We supplicate you, Dharma Lord Buddha, protector of wandering beings. We take refuge in you, Guru, perfect Sambhogakaya. We supplicate you, Dharma Lord Buddha, protector of wandering beings. We take refuge in you, Guru, compassionate Nirmanakaya. We supplicate you, Dharma Lord Buddha, protector of wandering beings. We take refuge in you, Guru, the actuality of the fourth kaya. We supplicate you, Dharma Lord Buddha, protector of wandering beings. All mother sentient beings, limitless as the sky, take refuge in you, Guru, precious Guru Buddha. We supplicate you, Dharma Lord Buddha, protector of wandering beings. We take refuge in you, Guru, clear like Dharma Kaya. We supplicate you, Dharma Lord Buddha, protector of wandering beings. We take refuge in you, Guru, perfect Sambhogakaya. We supplicate you, Dharma Lord Buddha, protector of wandering beings. We take refuge in you, Guru, compassionate Nirmanakaya. We supplicate you, Dharma Lord Buddha, protector of wandering beings. We take refuge in you, Guru, the actuality of the fourth kaya. We supplicate you, Dharma Lord Buddha, protector of wandering beings. Oh, may all mother sentient beings, limitless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from the bias of attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from the bias of attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from the bias of attachment and aversion. And now we go to the Achi Cleansing smoke offering. We were doing this practice in these weekday practices when we were going over the commentary on Gongchik by Genpo Kunbel. So we have done this practice as a group for a long time. I thought like today, tomorrow, and day after, I plan to continue until when I leave on Saturday. We will do this Achi Cleansing smoke offering as I cleanse the house and pack and get ready to go. So the outer and inner cleanse that is going on. So there is a chance, maybe when I'm in Peru, that I might live stream, depending if where I'm staying has strong enough signals. So stay tuned. I travel on Saturday, so the first chance would be on Monday. Peru right now, the time is the same as my time here in Nashville, so there won't be any change with our practice time. So page 1 with this Achi Cleansing smoke offering. So the self-creation here again is Vajrayogini. So Vajrayogini is a common theme in terms of idam. So like in our Drigung Poa practice is Vajrayogini, in the short Kusali, a form of Ju, but short Kusali offering practice, again, yourself arises Vajrayogini. Then in particular for Achi practice, almost always yourself would arise as Vajrayogini. With one exception, which is the pure vision Achi practice that was revealed as a terma, as a pure vision terma in the last generation. That one, you arise as Vajakilaya. But in all the other Achi practices, your own identity is that of Vajrayogini, Vajravarahi, because in the Dharmakaya level, who we call Achi is the Samantabhadri, the all good in the female. Samantabhadra is the all good in the male aspect. And so this is Samantabhadra and Samantabhadri as Buddhas. There is a bodhisattva called Samantabhadra who is associated with great aspirations. So like the king of aspiration prayers That is Samantabhadra, the Bodhisattva. But Samantabhadra, the primordial Buddha, and then the female aspect is Samantabhadri. Or you could also say that she is Vajra space, which is the female aspect of Vajra holder, Vajradhara, Vajra space. Doji Yingchuma. Then, in the Sambhogakaya aspect, she is Vajravarahi. In the Nirmanakaya aspect, she is Achi Cleansing. Dharmakaya Samantabhadri, Sambhogakaya Vajravarahi or Vajrayogini, Nirmanakaya Achi Cleansing. So ourselves, we should take on the appearance identity of Vajravarahi, because Achi Cleansing, when she was alive, in the late 10th century, her idam was Vajravarahi. So for us to then get close to her, so to say, then it's easier if we ourselves also have the same idam as Achi, Vajrayogini or Vajravarahi. I am Vajrayogini, instantaneously above my head is protector of three worlds, Ratna Shri, abiding naturally as the Nirmanakaya. From the bomb seed syllable in my heart emanate Ram Yam Kam that purifies the impurities and stains of the offering substances. Then the syllables Ahung emanate, which transform the immaculate essence of the offering substances into the nature of the elixir of primordial wisdom, turning then into substances that are agreeable to each of the types, entirely filling the limitless 3,000-fold universe. Ahung, 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 Nama Sarva Tathagate Bhayo Bishabhuru Kebya Sarva Tathang Ungate Saparana Hemangagana Kang Soha Nama Sarva Tathagate Bhayo Bishamu Kebya Sarvata Kang Ungate Saparana Hemangagana Kang Soha Nama Sarva Tathagate Bhayo Bishamukebya Sarvata Kang Ungate Saparana Hemangagana Kang Soha. You could also use symbols, little symbols for this music. Shri, from the innate nature that is spontaneously present since the beginning, I invite and request the protectors of the teachings to come To this birthless, perfectly luminous secret mandala, you dakinis who magically appear from the activity of primordial wisdom, supreme guardians who abide by the command and oath, manifest magical forms from the Dharma Dhatu, worldly and primordial wisdom, emanations and retinue. With your hearts and Maya's roused, please come here from the expanse of the excellent azure space, ablaze with turquoise light, specifically from the azure crack of Mule Eternum. Great Elder Sister Achi Nanangza, please come here to take all venomous enemies and obstructors, magical apparitions of elusive forms, emerging from the sphere of primordial wisdom, Mother Deity's exalted activities, wisdom, samaya, and magnetizing guardians of the conqueror's teachings, each according to their own type, retinues of pacification, enrichment, magnetization, and destruction, cries of longing, yogins calling out like a dragon's roar with welcoming substances, silk ribbons and hands beckoning. I bring forth offering clouds of cleansing smoke, an ocean of elixir. Due to your samayas, come here to this place of unsullied samayas. Samadha. Akarsaya samaya jam. Free Goddess Lady of Space, along with your entire retinue, please be seated, each according to your like. I bring forth oceans of offering clouds, both physical and visualized. With devotion I praise and pay homage with body, speech, and mind. Here now, at this place and in this supreme year, at this excellent juncture, when the planets and stars are in favorable positions, with the aspiration prayers of all majestic foe destroying Buddhas for the exhaustion of the generative factors, may I achieve in its entirety the true meaning of this life as I make this cleansing offering To you, deities, now let ghosts, demons, mishaps, and obstructors disperse to their own abodes. Cleanse and purify scurations and impurities. Cure with various supreme medicines that clear the afflictive emotions. Finer silks, jewels, incense, and aloes wood, sandalwood, cedar wood, fragrant fir, juniper, dwarf, rhododendron, birch, and so on. All these types of fragrant and ambrosia woods, flour, butter, milk, and various types of food and drink. We make these clouds of pervading smoke of this cleansing offering. For you, glorious root and lineage gurus, we cleanse. For you, Idam Vajra Yogini with retinue, we cleanse. For you, protectors of the teachings, chief lady of space, Juki Joma. For you, exalted activities, Dakini, wisdom Dakini, Samaya Dakini, and magnetizing Dakini. And for you, the three goddesses who devour, slay, and snatch away, we cleanse, heart-shaking mother and raise her to the life force. Wrathful red mother of exalted activities, along with retinue, along with all your assemblies of thousands of dark red flesh eaters. For all you matrikas and dakinis without exception, we cleanse. For you, the powerful Lady Tashi sitting of the supreme crystal tresses of the Himalaya. For you, goddesses of the four families, the five sisters, consort and retinue, and you 12 Dharmas, along with your retinue, we cleanse. So that the going gods and the multitude of family guardians, the guardians of the precious teachings of the Kagyu, and oceans of sworn guardians protect us, the Samaya keeping yogins, we offer this cleansing. As this touches the deities and us, the evil of defilements from Samaya breaches, defilements from violations of vows, quarrels, filth, and demons, those coming from contact with corpses, rape, incest, infidelity, and fouling of hearts. All these foul defects are cleansed, and thus we become pure. In this way, with this profound ritual of bathing and cleansing smoke, the guardian deities are pleased, violations and breaches are mended, all obstructive and discording conditions are quelled, and all our wishes that accord with the Dharma are abundantly accomplished. Here now with lofty praises to the guardian deities, glory to Chokidoma with these outer, inner, and secret support substances, glory to Chokidoma with these various desirable offering clouds, glory to Chokidoma with music of devotional songs of praise, glory to Chokidoma with mantras, mudras, and samadhi. Glory to Chokidoma, superior to the pinnacle of cyclic existence. Glory to Chokidoma, brighter than the sun and moon. Glory to Chokidoma, good as wish-fulfilling jewels. Glory to Chokidoma, full like a summer lake. Glory to Chokidoma, to spread the never-waning teachings of Buddhas. Glory to Chokidoma, to guard and fulfill the ultimate accomplishment of disciples. Glory to Chokidoma, may the guardians and humans not be separate. All the excellent glories, wealth, power, and blessings of the animate and inanimate, of the environment and inhabitants, samsara and nirvana, I now bring together these enriching practices, prosperous fortunes, filling like an ocean by the great might of you, guardians, Guard the jewel of the essence teachings, increase, develop, and stabilize the holders of the teachings. For us who are unerring and our retinue, increase auspiciousness and resources in our abodes. And when we are away, repel all bandits, hostile forces, dispel harmful gossips and loss. Now and in the time to come, spontaneously bring about all these benefits. Om Bhaja Sata Samaya Nupalaya the Four-Sessions Guruyoga text. Please turn to page 12. The PDF text. I don't have my becha. I'm not sure what page. This is the seven limb or sevenfold puja, worship, sevenfold worship. I respectfully pay homage with fierce and longing faith of the three types to you, glorious Guru, Lord of the four kayas. With my body, speech, and mind, I make offerings of all these established things, outer, inner, and other, the one who offers that which is offered, and the act of offering are indivisible in essence. This being so, I make this offering of the great single taste, free from elaborations. Grant me the accomplishment of effortlessness. I lay bare the impairments and breakings of the vows of the three vehicles, and rejoice in your liberating deeds. Please turn the wheel of Dharma in accordance with the capacities of those to be trained, and remain here for as long as samsara has not been emptied. I dedicate the merit accumulated in the three times to the welfare of wandering beings. Yes, so now we continue in the life story of Gyalpa Jikten Sumgön. So we were at the point that he decided then at the age of 35 to take monastic vows and to be ordained as a fully ordained monk, as a bhikshu. And so here in His Holiness's biography, it says that, after Gyalpa Jikten Sumgön took the full monastic vows, then he studied the root text of the Vinaya and other teachings on the details of the Vinaya, which is the collection of the Buddha's teachings focused on disciplined conduct. Furthermore, it says here, although he had realized the interdependence of cause and effect, he didn't teach without reference to the scriptural authority of the Buddha and lineage gurus. And he said that even if he were to remain in the Buddha field, he would not be separated from the Buddha's teachings even for an instant. That is to say that even if he had the power to be a Buddha, don't think that Buddhas are ever separated from the Dharma. And Dharma is what makes a Buddha a Buddha. And then through knowing a Buddha, we have access to the Dharma. So this whole section emphasizes how Jikten Sumgön then paid even more careful attention to the reasons why in the monastic discipline, there are so many details of what is skillful action, what is not skillful action. These details, one point of view, one way to understand these details is to see them as somehow extra burdens, that the Buddha put on those who want to live the life of a monastic. Sometimes it looks like that, the way we talk about these monastic vows. That's why I think many people don't succeed in keeping monastic vows for their life, because I think our attitude to it is, it's something difficult. It's something that is difficult, and then especially our American sensibilities, we like to be carefree, we don't like to be told you cannot do this, you cannot do that. So then it seems like, the details of the monastic vows is all just about you can't do this, 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 you can't do this. But if you understand that, but if we change our way of thinking, and really try to understand, right? Why did the Buddha give these 200 over details, you could say, 252 precepts. It varies from monastic tradition to monastic tradition. In the Theravada monastic tradition, it's 227. In the northern traditions, it varies from 252 to 250. So there are these variations, but where they vary are more in the, and these 250 or 227 are divided into, generally speaking, 7 categories, in which the first category are what is called the defeats. Meaning, like, if you break any of the first 4, you have been defeated, right? Like you have totally lost your monastic vows. So they are the most serious. So how the numbers are 227 and 252 and 250 is not at the beginning section, it's at the end section. The end section is a section that is called, like, you could say, deportment, meaning like how you carry yourself. Now, it doesn't have any rule there that says, don't chew gum. But probably if people were chewing gum during the Buddha's time, that might have been made a rule put in that section, the last section of deportment. Or at least it will say like, don't chew gum in public, because it's just, kind of, you could say, part of the rationale or part of the reason for there to be monastics is to serve as a reminder to those who are not monastics. It is to show a different way of living. So if you live too much like everybody else, then that function kind of disappears, So you are choosing to live apart from the masses. You're choosing to be different. And most importantly, I think, to think of it as you are choosing simplicity. Then you say, well, 250 rules, that's not simplicity. But if you pay attention to the 250 precepts, they completely simplify your life. So much so that, one time this famous forest monk Ajahn Chah was interviewed by a journalist from the city. And so the journalist from the city says, so I have heard that in the forest tradition, one of the most well-known things about monks who live in the forest and live according to the forest tradition is this tremendous emphasis in the forest tradition on the observation of all the 227 rules. So even in a Theravada country like Thailand, which generally is known and recognized for their monks, for people having high regard and also high standards for their monks. Even there, it is not the case that, everybody follows the 227 to the letter. It might be like we follow it to the spirit, not so much to the letter. But famously, the ones in the forest are the ones who follow it to the letter. So then this journalist wanted to ask Ajahn Chah and said, it must be very difficult, to follow these 227 to the letter. Because these rules, right, in some ways they arose in India, and maybe especially in the Indian context and back during the time of the Buddha, people understood, why these rules. But when these rules kind of came to a different culture, understandably, people are like, I don't know, so we can, of course, have discussions about that aspect. But here, so I said, it must be very hard. And Ajahn Chah reportedly said, kind of chuckled, laughed. And then he said, no, not hard. Then the interviewer goes, 227. And Ajahn Chah said, no, just one. One? I said, yes, we only have one precept. And the precept is not to let the mind scatter. Not to let the mind scatter. For the mind to be present. So once you understand that all 227 is geared towards not letting the mind scatter, not letting the mind get dragged around by temporary changing, shifting conditions, then you understand, so all the 250, 252, 53, 227, They are all details for helping us to not let our mind become scattered. Another way to put it is to establish mindfulness. Not mindfulness in the secular sense, oh, appreciate everything, oh, eat your food and taste all the different tastes, I mean, that's probably good for some people to learn how to slow down and take time to breathe, all of that, I'm not saying, but that's not, Buddha is not a lifestyle improver, Buddha taught to destroy samsara, so to say, to put it in kind of like shocking terms. Buddha's goal is to destroy samsara, not beautify samsara. But to simplify. And so here it says, after he took his monastic vows, then he began to really focus on understanding the cause and effect that is involved in. When the Buddha says, that's not skillful, that we should not engage in, that we should not do, or we should not chew gum in public. Why? Because, nyang, 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 nyang. We become mindless, Then other people, like lay people, they see that, they're like, oh yeah, they're monks, just like us. But it should not be like that, Worse if the lay people say, oh, so my dana to them is for that? Nyang, 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 Okay, don't misunderstand. Footnote. This is not an anti-gum chewing cult, okay? There is no rule per se against chewing gum or chewing gum in public. But the next time you're chewing gum or chewing food, be aware, right? Don't, be aware. Then especially if you're wearing the robes of the Buddha, then your conduct should not be like everybody else. You should be apart, separate. Anyway, continuing here, in the firebird year of the second cycle, Jikten Sumgön was enthroned at the Pakdu monastery. So after he became a monk, trouble was brewing at Pamadrupa's monastery. And so they requested him to come back and anchor the place. Since Pamadrupa's passing, Pakdu Densatil, also called Kunsang Naksel Gomba, which is the name also of our monastery here that we're going to build. Kunsang Naksel Gomba is the name of Pamadrupa's monastery. So here called Pakdu Monastery. So they asked Jikten Sumgön to go back and please take care of this place because it's deteriorating. No one's taking care of it. It's falling apart. So he stayed there for 3 years. However, because of the poor discipline in that place, he felt that he shouldn't stay any longer. He tried to change the discipline. They were not following the monastic rules. They will say things like, we have realized Mahamudra, we don't need the rules. These rules are only, Buddhism for dummies. Only beginners need to follow the rules because we have transcended the rules. We have achieved realization of emptiness, where we realize that, there are no actors, no action, and no acted upon. This is how they understand, the emptiness of the three spheres, Yeah? There is no drinker, there is no drinking, and there is nothing getting drunk. Things like this, They say, oh, we have realized the higher state. We don't need all these things, And so, that simply did not agree with how Jikten Sumgön understood these matters. So he stayed for 3 years, but after that, he could not. And so he supplicated, he prayed to his teacher, who then appeared to him in a vision and basically gave him permission to leave. So it's said that in the middle of the night, he took off. And that suggests that, if he tried to leave in the daytime, probably some people would prevent him from leaving. But he left in the middle of the night. And went in this direction. So Pamodrupa's monastery is in the south of central Tibet. So then Jikten Sumgön went towards the north to the capital city Lhasa, and further north to what is the Drigung Valley. So when he got there, apparently Pamodrupa has a student there called Tokden Minya Gomrim. Minya tells us where he's from. He's from Yunnan, in this area in south western China, Yunnan, Minya. So there's a great practitioner who is one of Pamodrupa's senior students. He offered his place. Apparently he has settled there, but he was leaving to go back to Minya. So then he gave his place to Jikten Sumgön and says, you can stay here and build your community here. So eventually, Jikten Sumgön built a residence there, an assembly hall, and a temple for the protectors with images of silver, along with many other buildings. So then bit by bit, slowly, these buildings started to mushroom, to grow. And Drigung consists of this, or the monastery is built on the face of this slope of this mountain, and then there's a valley. The valley is where Jikten Sumgön would come down and give teachings, and by the river, on a rock seat. There he would teach, the students gathered. Up is where they have their caves and huts, individual caves and hut, where people would be in their own space practicing. Today, there is a big assembly hall, Dharma Protector Hall, various buildings up there. So in the Earth Pig year of the third cycle, because of his fame, he founded the seat of the Drigung Kagyu order, 1179. Basically, that's the year that formally he decided he will stay there and establish his monastery, his community. It says here, in that year alone, more than 100 monks gathered there. Soon after, Jikten Sumgön was invited to Damshung in the north, where he was received by the great Dharma protector Nianchen Tangla. Nianchen Tangla is a deity guarding like the northern region mountains. So it says that Nianchen Tangla invited, actually. So it's not a human invitation. It's a deity, a local deity that invited Jikten Sumgön to go north. And so while giving teachings there, it says that he arrested the course of the sun. That means he caused the day to appear like it's not getting later. The kings Tangde and Ode requested him to come to Namra in the north, further north. So he went. And Namra is today called the Namso Lake, Sky Lake, Namso. So he stayed there from late winter through the summer. and gave meditation instructions even to animals such as deer, horses, and vultures. So at Namso today, you can see a footprint that is said to have been left by Jikten Sumgön on the face of a rock. And there are a few locations on this lake. I've been to the lake a few times. Judy has been there too, where different things, that he did while he resided there. Then here His Holiness included a song that Jikten Sumgön sang when he returned from this sky lake Namso. So it says here, I bow down at the feet of all gurus. At the monastery Lakmatraka, I am unhappy and my mind wanders. These thoughts occur to me. The son of the nephew of King Tsede and Kundade, the Lord King, born in Upper Tibet, descendants of the three families, and as humans descended from a god, are the lords who wonderfully established the teachings of the lion of the Shakyas and caused them to flourish. To the north of Tangla mountain, these kings, the lords of the powerful Gandharvas, offered many hundreds of texts, including Sangne Tu. They bowed their crowns at my feet. Although I have no desire for worldly things, and though they requested me to practice there, like the bird freed from its bonds, I am leaving sadly for the south. From the three regions of Upper Tibet to Minya, all are devoted to me. The elder and younger brothers of the spirit Namra and all wrathful gods and demons bow down and attend me. Even though I became the lord of beings there, I left that evil place without attachment. Like a bird freed from his bonds, I am leaving sadly for the south. So even though he's basically saying, even though everything is going really well, but I have to leave. I have to go back down to the south. In the country of those Dharma kings, many thousands of disciples cultivated the mind of supreme enlightenment, cultivated bodhicitta, establishing their own and others' benefit through the practice of the 6 paramitas, giving up the defilements of non-virtuous actions, and obeying whatever I commanded. Many disciples who are proper vessels are overpowered and tightly bound by the demon of mental afflictions, so the Mara of kleshas. Each year I freed hundreds from such childishness. I leave behind many disciples who are proper vessels, who become monks through confidence in the teachings of the lion of the Shakyas, Buddha Shakyamuni. Like a bird freed from his bonds, I am leaving sadly for the south. For the benefit of others, I went north to no particular place. The Dharma king Lawo and I receive each other. Even though to benefit the Dharma king, I satisfy his mind with the vast and profound teachings, he wasn't ripened and wasn't freed by the teachings of the glorious Mahapandita Naropa, through which one could attain supreme siddhi in one lifetime. Like a bird free from its bonds, I'm leaving a little sadly for the south. From Changlanien, Sangsang to Kem Nakla Jambo, all beings think of me. Impartially I establish many in peace and happiness, many others without refuge, deceived by wrong view and non-virtuous friends, take birth in lower realms. Without having established them in enlightenment, like a bird free from its bonds, I am leaving a little sadly for the south. By not staying in a hermitage in snow mountains, solitary, complete with qualities praised by the Buddhas of the 3 times, a place where yogins of the past stayed, or on an island in the middle of a lake with no one else around, I do not fulfill the wishes of the protector, the Lord of the 3 worlds, glorious Pamodrupa. Like a bird freed from its bonds, I am leaving sadly for the south. Innate self-awareness is the supreme seat of all the Buddhas of the 3 times, a completely solitary place held by yogins of the past, and especially by the precious Guru. without having established the qualities of the three bodies, like a bird freed from its bonds, I'm leaving sadly for the south. Nianchen Tangla Yerla mountain is like a great giant lion leaping into the sky. This is the monastery for the master yogin who cuts attachment to this life. Without having continued in this place, in the experience and realization of the practice of non-duality, like a bird freed from its bonds, I am leaving sadly for the south. Namso Chumo Lake in the north is like a beautiful turquoise mandala. It is difficult to measure its breadth and depth. This is the monastery of Pema Gyalpo and other yogins of the past. Without having settled my mind, like a bird freed from its bonds, I am leaving sadly for the south. The monastery of the elder and younger brothers of Namra is a gathering place for evil gods and demons. Without having subdued through immeasurable compassion these gods, and without having benefited other sentient beings, like a bird free from its bonds, I am leaving sadly for the south. The peak of Selchen Lago mountain is like a spear held in the sky. This is a place where Lord Marpa and Pelchen Galo cut the elaborations of mind. Like a bird free from its bonds, I am leaving sadly for the south. To the north of snow mountains, whose nature is effortless accomplishments, are four marvelous monasteries. Without having accomplished all benefits of myself and others, like a bird free from its bonds, I am leaving sadly for the south. The Lord of the land with his retinue, although I dare not separate from them, I find that I have to leave. In general, the samaya of the secret tantra is very strict. In particular, in the lineage of glorious Naropa, the guru is the profound path. I have no choice but to go to Ngamsho. Ngamsho is another name of Pamudrupa's monastery. The two spiritual friends, the Kempo and the Loban, are like parents. They grow old and are close to death. Through their compassion, they sent messengers. Thinking that I might not come, they invoke my samaya. In other words, they reminded me of my commitment to my teacher's place. For this reason also I have no choice but to go. They sent an image of the Dharma Lord and a letter. Because they invoke my samaya, I have no choice but to go. The Vajra Dharma friends who entered the path like passengers boarding a ship gather around me with affection, with compassion. They request teachings. The Lord of the land acts as their patron. Lord of the land, don't scold me. You patrons in all directions, don't be disappointed. I must go this once. I must go at once. I will return again. In general, I, a bhikshu of the Shakyas, no matter where I stay, think of the lords of the land and their retinues as my patrons without doubt. So the lords of the land are talking about these spirits that reside there. So he says he thinks of them as being his patrons, as being kind to him, and he has gratitude for them. All the power and strength that I have according to the Dharma, I will use again to benefit the king, meaning the spirit king there. All virtues accumulated in the 3 times I offer to you and all sentient beings, I am not selling my affectionate respect. I have no choice but to go. I must leave at once, but I will see you again soon. Thus he sang. He traveled through Drigung. So Drigung is north of Lhasa. This Sky Lake is further north. So then he went south. He traveled through Drigung. The children of Zantang built a Dharma throne on which he sat and gave teachings. In the summer, the river is turbulent, but where Jikten Sumgön taught, the river made no sound. This is even as it is today. Yeah, so this is talking about in Drigung Til, where the monastery is and where the valley is. By the valley, there is a very busy, and there's a river. But he says that, that especially in the summer, this river is very active, lots of water. But whenever he taught, the noise of the river would calm down so that his students can hear him. Yeah, so today we will stop here. And we will continue tomorrow. Chanchu semchu rinpoche ma ge ba nam ge gyu che ge ba nyam ba me ba yang Gone gong du bell shu.
Thank you, Lopa.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lai.
Thank you, Dr.
Muchas gracias.